Morning everyone, my name is Lalit Soni and you are watching Drishti IAS. In this episode, we will be talking about certain news from today's. Okay, since in the morning this portal was not accessible when we are talking about the Indian Express, so we will talk about the news which has been taken from the websites. Okay, so let's start, and before going further, I would like to tell you that we have started this campaign or initiative for MPPCS 2024. So exam is scheduled on the 23rd of June. So we have started a revision series, or you can say target MPPCS 2024, in which we will be discussing current affairs and then there will be PYQ practice. Okay, so you can go and watch these videos on Drishti PCS channel, so that you can say boost your MPPCS preparation. Okay, so let's start with the today's session. We could not come live yesterday because of certain issues, but we will be discussing 2-3 articles from yesterday's newspaper, and then we'll start with the today's discussion. Okay, now we'll start with practice question which was given to you in the previous lecture, and then we will move towards the today's article. These article will be discussing RBI recorded highest dividend. Okay, so we will talk about that. This dividend has been more than what was expected in the interim budget as well as the market expectations. Okay, so that is important, and it will reduce the government's fiscal deficit. Okay, then issue of Palestinian statehood. Okay, so there was this three countries of Europe, they have decided to actually give this statehood status of a state to Palestine, and we will see how it will be done and what are the reservation by Israel with respect to that. Okay, then there is this BIMSTEC get legal personality status. We will also talk about that. So let's start with the today's discussion. Here you can see our practice question which was given to you in the previous lecture. That was Humboldt Glacier is located in Asia, Antarctica, South America and you can say Africa. Okay, so when we are talking about this particular glacier, this was the last glacier of Venezuela which actually they lost. Okay, there was various glacier when we are talking about Venezuela, but they have lost them one by one. Venezuela loses its last glacier as it sinks down to an ice field. Okay, so the name was the Humboldt Glacier. The location here you can see Venezuela is located in South American continent. Okay, this is the location, and we have a glacier somewhere over here in the Andes. Andes moves something like this. Okay, so this is Andes, and in Andes we have this country Venezuela, and where this particular glacier was located in South America. Option C would be your right answer. Okay, now moving further, let's start with the discussion. This is an article which has been taken from yesterday's newspaper, that is okay, so and it was on page number 2. So you can see UN report, Indian pastoralists need better access to land, recognition of rights. Okay, so basically when we are talking about this particular community, that is pastoralists. Okay, these are the people who go for the rearing of animals, and they go for you can say they help the animals go for grazing in the grasslands, etc. Okay, so this article is basically talking about your grasslands. Okay, they are also called as rangelands. Okay, so when we are talking about the rangeland and the grasslands, these are a prominent you can say element of our ecosystem, but they are neglected. Okay, when we are talking about the climate change, when we are talking about any kind of biodiversity related aspects, we talk about forest, we talk about the you can say evergreen forest, we talk about tropical forest, we talk about the you can say vegetation at the altitudes, but again these grasslands are not very much talked about, and because of which there is a need right now for us to focus on grasslands as well, because these animals, or you can say the most of the cattle are basically dependent on the grasslands. Okay, so there was this UN report, we will talk about that report here. Okay, millions of the pastoralists in India who rear livestock and depends on the grassland, shrubs and the plateau for sustenance need better recognition of their rights. Okay, you must have heard that there is this Forest Conservation Act or Forest Rights Act is there, which is talking about the rights of the communities which are living in that particular area. On the similar lines, there is there is a need where we can recognize the rights of these people. Okay, when we are talking about these communities, mostly we are talking about communities like Maldharis, Van Gujars, Rabaris. Okay, so these are kind of communities which are basically pastorals. Okay, so we are talking about rights of such communities. Okay, now according to a report by UN Convention on Combating Desertification, that is UNCCD, okay, almost half of the world's rangelands are degraded due to climate change, population growth, and the land use change and the growing farmland. So basically they are saying that whatever anthropogenic activities we are doing, whatever we are doing with respect to the farming, whatever we are doing with respect to the development and the infrastructure related activities, what we are doing is we are trying to claim these areas. Since these are grasslands, it is easy for us to remove this grass, okay, other than a huge forest. So that is why we are losing such areas. Okay, now here you can see rangelands cover 80 million square kilometer, which is nearly 54% of the Earth's land surface. They are characterized by the low vegetation, comprises grassland, shrubs, wetland, desert, semi-arid lands, mountain pastures, and plateaus and tundra. So these are the areas, or these are the kind of vegetation we are talking about in the rangelands. Okay. As I told you, these are the area where you will find grass, okay, grass, or you can say small shrubs or a little bit of the vegetation and not much. Okay, so that is what we are talking about. Okay, then it is an important ecosystem to fight against climate change, because they act as a carbon sink. Most of the time when we are talking about the autotrophs, or you can say those who go for the photosynthesis, etc., they actually works as a reserve of the carbon dioxide, or you can say storage, carbon sequestration they do, and that is why they becomes important to fight the climate change. Now if you are claiming these areas, if you are removing their cover, so basically you are losing the carbon storage. Okay, so ultimately carbon will be there in the atmosphere, and that is you know, when we are talking about the carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, these are harmful gases. Okay, so that is why we have to focus on the grasslands as well. Now though their exact number in India is not known, when we are talking about the pastoralist community, we don't know the exact number, but there are certain communities which I have already told you, that is Maldharis, Van Gujjar, Rabaris. These are there among them, and they nearly consist of 20 million or even more. Okay, the report highlights that the pastorals are marginalized community with little influence on the policy and decision making, because they do not have much political representation, and that is why they have less you can say representation or the any kind of influence on the policy making, resulting in the uncertainty over the access to the common lands and land rights. Okay, so right now we are talking about their land rights. Although grasslands are considered threatened ecosystem in India, they have virtually overlooked the environmental conservation and the ecosystem restoration policy in the favor of the forestry based intervention. As I told you, we are focused on the forestry more than the grasslands. Okay, which includes the converting natural grasslands into the plantations, forest and otherwise. Okay, we have talked about agroforestry, we have talked about, you can say, urban forestry, Miyawaki cultivations, etc. Okay, all these things are basically talking about forestation. They are talking about increasing the forest area. Okay, and ultimately when we are talking about going for forestry to develop a forest, we actually look towards the grasslands. We are removing the grasslands and then we are making forest over there. So ultimately at the cost of grasslands we are going for the forestry. Okay, so that is also detrimental. Less than 5% of India's grasslands fall within the protected areas, and the total grassland area declined from 18 million hectare to 12 million hectare between 2005 to 2015. In last 10 you can say years, we have lost nearly you can say 6 million hectare of the land area which was under grasslands. Okay, now when we are talking about the livestock, or you can say livestock rearing and the milk production, etc., these grasslands are quite important for them. Livestock sector of the economy contributes nearly 4% to the national GDP and 26% to the agriculture GDP. Okay, sectoral GDP, if we are talking about, nearly 1/4 is this livestock, and when we are talking about the overall GDP of a country, 4% is contributed by these livestock rearing, or basically milk production and the you can say cattle rearing, etc. So that is why grasslands are important, and for you these three communities, Maldharis, Van Gujjars and Rabaris, this is also important for you. Okay, so I hope this is clear. Now we can move to the next article. Yeah, these classes are on the daily basis from your Monday to Friday. Most of the timing is 10:30. Okay, sometimes it can be 5 minutes up or down, that is all right, but this will be a weekdays class from your Monday to Friday. Okay, if we do not cover or we do not come live for any kind of reason, we will cover that newspaper in the next session. Okay, so let's say when we are talking about the Saturday and Sunday, we will cover the Saturday and Sunday newspaper on Monday. Okay, I hope this is clear. Now we can move forward. Okay, why a gate set up on hills sacred to Metis has forced a reaction from CM. Okay, so there is this particular hill, that is Thangjing. Okay, Thangjing Hills. This is in Manipur. Okay, so please remember this particular name of the hill. Now this hill is kind of a sacred place for a community, that is Metis. You must have heard about this Metis community. When we are talking about Manipur, there are various communities which are living. Let's say if we are talking about the map of Manipur, it looks something like this. I'm not good with the drawings, but it looks something like this. Okay, so when we are talking about Manipur, this is your valley area in the Manipur's physiography, or the you can say geological features. If we talk about, this is a valley area. Okay, and when we are talking about this outside part, this is basically your hilly area. Now hilly area is occupied by various tribes like Kukis. This area is basically dominated by Kukis. This area is dominated by Nagas. Okay, and this valley area is dominated by Metis. Okay, so when we are talking about this region that is dominated by Kukis, this is the region dominated by Nagas, and this valley region is dominated by Metis. Okay, otherwise also there are tribes like Mizo, there are Zomis which are living in this particular area. So please remember the name of the tribe. Right now when we are talking about this Thangjing Hills, okay, so this is a sacred place for the tribe which is living in the valley region, that is Metis community. But again, this particular area is located in a place which is dominated by another tribe. Okay, so that is why they have a disconnect from that particular area, because there are these tribal issues which are going on. You can say there are these ethnic issues which are going on in Manipur. You must have heard about the Manipur violence, etc., and because of which these Metis are not able to get an access to this particular area of this Thangjing Hills. Okay, so this is about the demography of Manipur. These other areas, there are other tribes. Okay, you must have heard about Greater Nagalim. So the Naga tribes, or the people who advocate for the Greater Nagalim, they say that this part belongs to the Greater Nagalim. This part belongs to Kuki land. Okay, so they are basically trying to get their own autonomy in this particular area. When we are talking about the Metis which are living in the valley region, okay, these are basically politically dominant class over here. Okay, and the issue over here is basically of developmental disparity, because these Metis are politically and economically strong tribe over here, and when we are talking about these hilly tribes, they are relatively have lesser connectivity, etc., lesser development, and that is why there is this issue of developmental disparity. Okay, and the political representation. Now coming to this article, what is happening right now is that, as I told you, this is a particular hill which is sacred for the Metis community, and there is this group, that is Kuki National Front Military Council. Okay, now they are trying to create a gate, or you can say there is some kind of, you can say, camp. Okay, so to that the government or the CM of that particular area, they have put forward certain issues. Okay, so now coming to the article, the Manipur government has moved to take action against the alleged setting up of a gate on the Thangjing Hill range sacred to Metis community, where a broad perpetually declared area, that is Thangting camp of the Kuki National Front Military Council. Okay, now this is Kuki National Front. As I told you, there is this there are various organizations which are working for their own, or you can say their communities, etc. So one of them is this. When we are talking about the this ethnic violence which was happening over here, then there was this suspension of operation agreement which has been signed between the state, center, and these communities. Okay, they were part of it. Okay, let's see. So they are basically going for a campsite they are having in that particular area. Okay, and because of which these Metis community people are not getting this access to this particular area. Okay, now jurisdiction of the Hangle police station in Kuki Zomi majority Churachandpur district. Okay, so this district is a majority where you can say in this particular district there is a majority of a tribe, that is Kukis and Zomis, and that is why Metis are not getting this access. Okay, now CM, what they have, or the Manipur government, they have said that the Imphal police will go for filing a zero FIR. Okay, so here you can say Manipur government wrote to the officer in charge of Imphal police station asking that a zero FIR be registered in the matter under the Manipur government's new Manipur Name of Places Act, as well as the Historical Monuments and the Archaeological Sites and Remains Act 1976. Okay, so they have said that you need to file a zero FIR. What is a zero FIR? So whenever you have to file a case, or you can say whenever there is some incident of crime which has happened and now you have to file an FIR, you will go to the FIR, you can say police station which has the jurisdiction. Okay, jurisdiction means that in that particular area, that police station will take care of the law and order. Okay, but again, when we are talking about the issue which is happening in this particular area of Hanglep police station, and now FIR is filed in the Imphal police station, that means that they do not have the jurisdiction. Okay, in certain kind of crime, such FIRs can be filed in another jurisdiction, and that FIR is called zero FIR, because they are not going for any kind of serial number on the FIR. Serial number or the sequel number or FIR number, they are not putting an FIR number over there, they are just putting it zero. Then this FIR will be transferred to the police station which is jurisdictional police station, and then they will add it to the their FIR register. Okay, so that is why that is called zero FIR. Okay, so now the government has said that Imphal police should file an FIR with respect to that. Okay, now during the ongoing conflict in Manipur, as Kukis and Meiteis fled the area, they were minorities with the name of the place have become contested. Okay, now this act, there is this Manipur Name of the Places Act is there. Okay, that is related to, it makes the use of unauthorized names for a place a punishable offense. Okay, so basically here you can say they have used Thangjing hill station, hill range, and they have used the name Thang Ting Camp. Okay, so that is why if they are using a different name or unauthorized name, there can be an FIR filed again under this Manipur Names of Place Act. Okay, all these things are not important for you, and this is the issue. So I have told you that this is the issue, and because of which that is the hills which has been in news, that is in Manipur. Okay, just remember this, and remember that it is a sacred site for Meitei community. Okay, I hope this is clear. Now here you can see the Thangjing Hills in Churachandrapur district is an important pilgrimage site for the followers of Samamahism in Meitei community. Given the deep geographical and the social divide borne by the ongoing conflict, it has become inaccessible to the community. Now this paragraph is important for you. Okay, and this paragraph is important for you. That's all. Okay, now the name is Thangjing Hills in Manipur, and it is a pilgrimage site for the Meitei community. Now moving further, let's start with the today's discussion. Okay, in today's newspaper there was certain news which we have taken. One is your RBI's recorded dividend for 2.1 lakh crore to government can help trim the deficit. Okay, so basically you know that when we are talking about RBI, there are sources, there are different sources through which RBI get their collections. Okay, like there are forex related incomes are there, there are other incomes when we are talking about the interest rates, loans, etc. So RBI has got a surplus of, that is 2.1 lakh crore. Okay, the bumper dividend payout is likely to help ease financial year 25 fiscal deficit by around 0.2% of the GDP. Analyst has said that in the interim budget financial year 2025, the government has set an ambiguous target of bringing the fiscal deficit down to 5.1% in 2025 financial year 25 from 5.8% in the financial year 2024. Okay, here you can see the Central Board of RBI on Wednesday approved a highest ever surplus or dividend of 2.11 lakh crore. Okay, to the central government for the accounting year 23-24. So basically when we are talking about the surplus which has been given by the RBI, that is 2.11 lakh crore, what was expected was nearly around 1 lakh crore or something, 1.1 lakh crore or something like that, that was expected. Okay, but RBI has performed well and they have given a dividend of 2.11 lakh crore. So ultimately it will help the fiscal targets. The amount is much higher than both the budget estimate, that is 1.02 lakh crore announced in the interim budget financial year 2025, and the market expectation that was also around 1 to 1.1 lakh crore surplus. Okay, but we have gone for the 2.11. Here you can say there are the previous data which are given. Last time we have a good surplus was that in 2018-19 that was 1,23,414, and after that there was this surplus in 19-20 it was 57 lakh crores, and other like here you can say that was increasing, decreasing, but since 2021 it is increasing, and 2023-24 is the maximum 2 lakh or 1.1 lakh 2.11 lakh crore. Okay, so that is about your surplus, and here you can see it would come as an unexpected boost to the government's fiscal position. How it will impact the government's fiscal position? Because it is an income to the government, and government was expecting it to be around 1 lakh crore, and now they have given 2.11 lakh crore. So they have this additional income of 1 lakh crore nearly. Okay, so that is why it will reduce the fiscal deficit by approximately 0.2% of the GDP. Earlier, as I told you, last year the fiscal deficit was 5.8%, and the target for the next year was 5.1%. Okay, so 0.2% has already been decreased by this particular amount, and now they have this 0.5% to go for. Okay, now what was the reason in the, you can say, when we are talking about the higher dividend, what was the reason? Increased revenue from the variable repo rate, as I told you, from the repo operations or the interest rates, etc. Increased revenue. Okay, and second, here you can say that there was this tight liquidity condition. Third is your revaluation gains from the forex reserve. Okay, because of the amount of the, or you can say value of the rupee. Okay, we have got some you can say benefits from the forex reserve as well. The higher interest rate on the domestic and the foreign securities, then increase on the gross sale of the foreign exchange. Okay, so basically because of all these reasons, ultimately mostly we can trace it to the forex reserve. Okay, there was this exchange, there was this you can say appreciation of rupees, and because of which we have got this much amount in surplus. Okay, so that is about your RBI dividend related issue. Now coming to the next, that is Ireland, Norway and Spain. These are the countries who are set to formally recognize the statehood of Palestine. Okay, so these countries, please remember, Ireland, Norway and Spain. Now what is the issue is that there are various countries, if you know, since the time Palestinians, they have said that they are independent state. After that, there are very few countries they have recognized their statehood. But again, when we are talking about the European countries, there are even less countries which has recognized that. And now these three countries has said that they will go for the recognition of the Palestine as a full-fledged state. Now the thing is, Israel has reservation with that. Okay, they have said that it is kind of a reward to the terrorism. Okay, these are the words of the Israeli authorities. Here you can say Ireland, Norway and Spain announced on the Wednesday that they will formally recognize the state of Palestine as even as the reports emerge from the Israel pushing its way further into Rafah in the southern Gaza. Okay, so as I told you, this war situation is going on in the Israel, that is continuously condition is worsening over there. Then the recognition of the Palestine is expected to take place on May 28th. Announcement by the European countries come weeks after the 143 of 193 countries in United Nations General Assembly, UNGA, they have voted for the full-fledged membership of UN for the state of Palestine. Now they have voted over here, and they have these countries has gone for the recognition. They have said that they will give the recognition over here. Now what Israel has said, Israel reflected with the fury after the three European countries said that on Wednesday they would recognize a Palestinian state more than 7 months into the war which is going on in the Gaza. Okay, Israel has immediately said that it is they are recalling their envoys to the Dublin, Oslo and Madrid. Basically these are the capital of these particular regions. Okay, so basically you can say that where they have embassies, okay, not the capitals, but where they have embassies, they are recalling their ambassadors, and they will have some kind of urgent consultations, etc. Then they have also said that it also charged that the move amounts to rewarding terrorism. Okay, because when we are talking about the Palestine and the Israel issue, you know that Israelis consider Hamas as a terrorist organization. They are saying that after the attack which has happened, and now you are going for the recognition of the Palestinian state, that is kind of rewarding the terrorism. Okay, anyway, here you can see when we are talking about the history of Palestinian recognitions. Okay, November 15th, 1988. This is the time when the Intifada has happened. Okay, Palestinian Intifada, first Palestinian Intifada, or you can say some kind of uprising which has happened with respect to the gaining the statehood from that particular area. Okay, so Palestinian leader Yasser Arafat declared himself independent Palestinian state. Okay, Jerusalem was made its capital. Okay, so that is the time in 1998. When we are talking about the area, you know that there was this Jew community which has come to the area over here, where earlier this Arabian settlement was there. Okay, after that Britishers had left them in the hands of United Nations, and United Nations has come up with the partition plan. They have said that the area will be divided between the two communities. 55% of the land area will be given to the Jews and the remaining will be given to the Palestinians over here. Okay, Palestinians did not recognize it. Then Israel, you can say, announced their independence in that particular area, and they took control of the area. Afterwards, there were various war which has been waged in this particular, when we are talking about the Israel and the Palestinian area, and there was this uprising which has happened, and in 1988, there was this first Intifada, which they declared that they are now a, you can say, independent state, and the Jerusalem will be the capital. Okay. Then after that, a few minutes later, Algeria becomes the first country to recognize the independent Palestinian state. Then within few weeks, there were dozens of the Arab community, you can say, countries which has come forward and they have recognized this particular nation, that is Turkey. Then there was this African countries, and many Central and the Eastern European countries also recognized them. Okay, so this has happened. Afterwards, in 2010-11, several South American countries including Argentina, Brazil, Chile has also supported. Then 2011, Palestine gains membership of the UNESCO and opposed by the US and Israel at that point of time, but still they have got the membership of UNESCO. Again, they are not member state in UN, but they have got the membership in the UNESCO. Okay, then in 2015 received membership of the International Criminal Court, and Sweden is the first European country. When we are talking about Sweden is the first European Union country, they have recognized the statehood of Palestinians. Okay, when we are talking about India, India also supports the cause of Palestine. Okay, so that is about your history of Palestinian recognition. Okay. Now, next article is related to BIMSTEC get legal personality status. Basically, when we are talking about the legal personality, here you can say that now they have a legal charter. Okay, accordingly they will work, or you can say that a kind of constitution now they have come up with, under which all the important parameters are given, like who can be the member, how can one be the member, how can they will have the dialogues. Okay, so all these things are compiled one place, and now they have got the legal personality status after they have signed this charter. Okay. The Bay of Bengal Initiative for Multi-Sectoral Technical and the Economic Cooperation, BIMSTEC, will now be open to new members and the observers after the historical first charter of the grouping came into force on May 20th. Okay, now this is the first charter, and from this particular charter they have got the legal personality status. Okay. Now, here you can say, with the charter having been adopted in the 5th summit of the BIMSTEC leaders, the grouping has acquired a legal personality and will be able to enter into structured diplomatic dialogues with other groupings and the countries. Okay. When we are talking about BIMSTEC, BIMSTEC is a sub-regional grouping. Okay, there are few members, we will be talking about them. Then when we are talking about the BIMSTEC, here you can see they have said that it is a multi-sectoral technical and the economic cooperation. That means that they will be working in the multiple sectors, and each country have a specific sector in which they will give their inputs in. Okay, so let's talk about BIMSTEC a little bit over here. BIMSTEC is a regional organization of 7 members countries. From South Asia, we have Bangladesh, Bhutan, India, Nepal, Sri Lanka, and from the Southeast Asia, we have Myanmar and Thailand. Okay, so these are basically your 7 members, that is Bangladesh, Bhutan, India, Nepal, Sri Lanka, Myanmar, and Thailand. This is a sub-regional organization, came into existence on the 6th of June 1997 through Bangkok Declaration. Now, these two facts are quite important for you. That is, Bangkok, through this Bangkok Declaration, we have established BIMSTEC on 6th June 1997. Okay, when we are talking about the secretariat, it is located in Dhaka, Bangladesh. Each member has a specific sector since 2021. When we are talking about India, India has the sector wherein they will be working in the terrorism and the transnational crimes, disaster management, and the energy cooperation, as well as the security. So here you can say that in this sub-regional area, India will be handling the security, energy security, and the terrorism and the transnational crimes. Okay, and the disaster management. Okay, so you can say that basically India will be acting as the first responder in the cases of the terrorist activities, security related breaches, disaster management, and the energy security. Okay, so that is about your BIMSTEC. I hope this is clear. Now, here you can say this is the area where BIMSTEC is working, basically 7 countries: India, Nepal, Bangladesh, Bhutan, Myanmar and Thailand. Okay, so Sri Lanka is also there. Okay, so basically there are 7 countries which are there in BIMSTEC. Okay, now moving to the, you can say, last part, that is your practice question for prelims. There is no article for your own read today because there was this e-paper which has not been downloaded, so that is why I have kept it out. Now question is that where is the headquarter of BIMSTEC located? Gurugram, Paris, Dhaka and Geneva. Okay, so that is the question for you. You have to answer in the comment box. With that you will also answer that where is the headquarter of the International Solar Alliance is located. Okay, I'll give you a hint, it is located in India. Okay, but again where? Okay, so all these 2 things you can answer in the comment box. With that I would like to take your leave. I'll see you in the next episode. Till then, have a good day. Thank you.